Learn to say no to women, and that's a big deal. Learn to say no. No means no. We had to learn to say no, so everybody should be able to say no. Your teenagers, your young adults, married men, married women, you should be able to say no, not just to your wife. And if you always saying no to your wife and yes to other people outside your home, you got a problem. That's still a sign of weakness. You won't take care of your own first and be good and treat what you have that represents you, that you called your own, gave your last name. And all you do is say no to her, and then the same people walk up and ask you to do the same thing you do it. That's sad. It said keep your male friends and make use of man spaces. Keep your male friends and make use of male space. Any woman that's trying to take you away from your friends and family is bad. Isn't that the sign of abuse, isolation? But if you just running all the time just trying to prove what kind of man you is to your buddies, it's different. But men hanging out with men to loosen up, play a little sports, lift a little weights, stuff like that. And women, if he's cheating, you trying to keep him in a pen will not solve that, because that's a desire of the heart, and the desire of the heart cannot be put in a cage and monitored like that, right? Okay, signs of an emasculated man. All right, he concedes leadership decision to his wife. Did you hear it say concede? She didn't take it. He conceded. He gave her all that room to make the big decision. A mother knows every ailment her child has had, when it was, and what happened during that time of that illness. A man cannot tell you, I guarantee you, the full medical history of his children, when they had the chicken pox or whatever they had, and what did you do to remedy it and get over it. That information is not even in his head whatsoever. Notice how much men are turning to their wives and say, honey, was that Mr. Jones? Honey, who was that had that red car? Honey, did I put such and such somewhere? Honey. And they say that's consulting your wife. And this is what I'm reading now, saying you give him decisions. You concede it to her. Nobody want a concessionary partner. I have to do all the thinking, all the marching, all the consequence, everything myself, while you got a free ride and your brain ain't rattled whatsoever. You don't have no feeling, no cause, no concern. While I'm up all night worried, pacing, and trying to decide what's best. You checked out. You said, okay, you do it. When you say, okay, you do it, you're right, you conceded. Nobody took anything. Nobody took anything. Don't they allow their emotions to dictate their action? And what emotion? People are like, oh, emotions, he's crying at the movie. No, his emotion. I'm angry. I'm mad because I didn't get promotion. I'm upset this. I'm mad that. She does this. She does that. And after a while, it's just a broken record. You have no conversation, no intimacy, no communication to fix problems because you're mad. Get unmad and just going to take care of business. She makes me sick. So you do something to get back, and they become about people having extramarital affairs. If she was like this, if she did this, I wouldn't have did that. You could have took that energy and focused. You took energy to get a new love, to romance her, to make her think she was special, to make her like you, to make her see that you're wonderful. Then you slip in, you got a wife, because you ain't gonna leave your wife, and she listens to your problems, and she tries to not be that type of woman for you. All that energy. You mean you couldn't fix the problem with your wife? You had all that time, what is it, weeks, months, days, how long, to do all of that work. All of that work, but not at home. because she made you go out there and put forth all that effort in with a new person and just leave her with no help whatsoever. No resolution to whatever the problem is. Go on with your bad self. Okay? This is a big one. And I hope people don't say women took this too. Not being a spiritual leader in the home. Leading by example. So while you're sitting there telling people to taking stuff from you, you can't do this, you can't do that, I hope you don't have sons looking at you. I hope you don't have daughters looking at you. Because that's going to be a turn off. She's going to be like, I don't want no men to act like that. Mama doing all this, making decisions, and blah, 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 and he don't do nothing. Except for when it's time to discipline, he want to yell at people and whoop people. Other than that, he don't know nothing about me. It says, be a spiritual leader, first by leading by example. If you want your kid to be, your son to be manly, you need to be manly. If you want your son to be an excuse person, a dodger from accountability, keep saying that you're emasculated. Mama won't let me, mama won't let me, mama won't let me. Keep doing that. What kind of guy, young man, you going to turn out? He's not going to be the same thing pointing at something that people won't let me, people won't let me, people won't let me. I hate that when somebody says he won't let me. Even one time, even when my husband was like, I'm going to do such and such, and he's like, I don't want you to go. And I'm like, I do this all the time. Why can't I go? I don't understand that. He's like, I don't want you to go. And I got in a big old huff. And I didn't go, and I said I would never allow a man to tell me if I could or couldn't go somewhere. And I was like, it happened. Then I'm like, it wasn't the end of the world. He doesn't do that all the time. This is one time out the blue. I don't understand it. I don't know what it came from. And I talked to him, and I told him I didn't go because I cared about you, and I didn't want to anger you anymore. I think it was wrong, irrational. You must have some construed feelings about me and how I carry myself. But I'm asking you, and hint on telling you, do not forbid me to go somewhere. We are both grown. I make good decisions and wise decisions. And whatever it is I'm going for is something I want to do. So whether it's good, bad, ugly, indifferent. And he never did that again. He actually said he don't know what got into him that day. He don't know what he was feeling. And he understood it was wrong. And it never happened again. But you can get in your feelings and you can make things so much worse. Or you can speak to people and tell them what's going on and stuff. And the first thing I said was, I just did it. And I had to tell them I did it because I care about you. And I didn't want to hurt your feelings. And this was out the ordinary for you. And then I laid my case of, but this will not continue on. I did it to show you how much I love you and care for you. And now if I continue to go out the door after you say don't go, I still love you and I still care for you. And we came to that resolution. And that never happened again. It never happened again. So you got to be spiritual leaders, go to church, put God first in everything. Do Bible study and prayer. Men, all you men are saying y'all emasculated, I ask you to do this one thing. Every morning, hold your wife's hand and pray out loud. Say a prayer out loud, holding your wife's hand. Pray for your family. Pray for your wife. Pray for your children. Then on the weekends, when your kids are there and you're all in one place in the morning, do a family prayer together. Pray together. As they get comfortable with it, have the children to say a prayer and get them to pray. And so these men will understand what it means to pray over a family. And that is one big thing. Your family and your relationship and your role in your own home may be due to your lack of spiritual leadership. It's a start at home, then spread abroad. And if you're emasculated in your own home, you're emasculated outside your home. You got to quit just saying it's a one case instance. And every woman is not like that. And if you're running up on every woman that is gruff and rough and make you feel small, you may need to look at the common denominator. I'm just saying. But men, quit crying and complaining about somebody took away your masculinity. Be as masculine as you can ever be. By example, is holding your wife's hand and praying for her daily or nightly before you go to bed, and do the same thing for your children. And I don't mean praying for the world and peace and blah blah blah. You always can do that. You can do that in your own prayer. But I'm talking about you take time to cover your home, your wife, your family, you and your wife. Pray those prayers over your family. Don't be talking about the hungry kids in Egypt. Don't be talking about water for Iran and Iraq. Don't be talking about space shuttle going up. Don't be talking about pray over your family. And you could tell your kids, y'all need to pray for life, current events, what's going on, people you have mercy for, because people see you praying for other people and, oh Lord, heal them and wish them well, and they see how you treat them when they're not looking. They hear you talking about them same ones on the phone. So that's a bad message in front of your children. You're praying for your neighbor, and then you're laughing and wishing them no good and all kind of things. Pray over your own family. Because what you put out is going to come back in. That prayer you put out over your children or your wife will come back in. The reason I knew I was going to marry my husband, I went to the first Gulf War in Iraq. And Iraq, we was in Saudi Arabia. And when I come back, my future husband was there to pick me up from the airport. I'm in my military, and he hugged me, kissed me on the jaw, and he said, I've been praying for you every day while you were gone. That was the most beautiful thing that a person could have said. He didn't tell me while I was there. He didn't say nothing, but he said, I prayed every day. It wasn't to score any points. It wasn't to lead me on or anything. There's no better gift the husband can give his wife is to stand with her and pray out loud and thank the Lord for her, or ask the Lord to help in problems that you have with her. It's great. Men, and the Bible says, fathers, pray over your children. So I hope all the men that watch this who do not pray over their children out loud, touching them, not on the floor kneeling, thanking for their health. I mean, pray over your kids. So, let me move on. All right. They run from conflict. Can't have conflict. Or it looks like somebody's finna get into it, they take off. And we ain't talking about fist fight. We talking about a conversation where women are chasing the men all through the home, trying to talk to them about a subject, and the more we chasing them now, we going back 5 years. We make that next round to the next room, we done went back 10 years. Before you know it, we done ran so much, we back to your infancy. Talking about you were bad from when you came into the world. We chasing you down. You running from it. You're getting away. And if you're running this day, you're not going to be able to come to the table any other time. If you run from conflict, you're not a protector in your home. Conflict in your home. Confrontation in your home. You don't know what to do but run. That, if you can't sit down and talk and y'all hash things out and work things out, because y'all going to be together, stay together, You don't want her feelings hurt. You don't want his feelings hurt. You trying to make compromises, and then when you just can't give on, he understands because you've gave on so many other things, because you came to a compromise with other things. So when you look at him and tell him that is just something I can't do, he will believe you because your integrity is showed, that your mind is set on what's good for your home. And the man that is running from arguments, saying let's talk about this later, and know he's trying to just wait for it to disappear, who just start hollering and screaming, that's not a conversation. Hollering and screaming don't fix anything, but looking into that woman's eyes and saying, I'm here, what are we going to do about such and such, and fix it like adults fix things. If you can't fix things, that's why you're pointing at her. Because you would be on top of things where she didn't even have time and room and space to make so many decisions, because you already own it. You see mail come in the house. You see bills. You see your children growing up, hitting puberty and stuff, and you're not concerned about them teenage years. You can't fluently talk about what kind of grades and person they are if you're absent. There's so much work for you to do, man. And to keep saying this, and all right, everyone agrees, let's do this. Everyone agrees that women want to make women out of you men. Raise your hand. Okay. Everybody said, yes, sir, we want to make women out of you. What you do next? What do you do next, man?